There you are. Good morning. It's freezing. Wow, it's freezing. And what you'll hear is the crunch of gravel under tyre. And you're thinking perhaps he's finally got back on the gain and he's gravelling somewhere. Well, I am gravelling, only I'm still on the Orbea Kemen. There's a little story there, I'll tell you that after the intro. So I got the bike all boxed up at the beginning of November, ready for it to go back. 2 days later, according to DHL's website, the bike was collected, and 2 days after that it was delivered back to the Orbea factory. Well, I contacted Orbea about 2 weeks after that, not having seen that information, because the bike was still in my shed. So DHL had lied and had actually said that the bike was delivered back to the factory. So the first thing I did when Orbea told me this was, yeah, actually they did collect it, haha. But that lasted about 5 minutes before I had to come clean and let them know that it was still in my shed. So they booked it for collection again, and then my dad died, so I was going back to the UK a lot. Didn't think anything more of it. I assumed Mrs. Yakko was dealing with it. So when I got back about 3 or 4 days ago to find it still in the shed, I contacted Orbea again and said, look, I'm going to be toing and froing from the UK. I'm not going to be here for them to collect it because they're not going to come anyway. And they said, fair enough, we'll reorganise collection in the new year. And I thought, well, if I'm in Spain, I might as well use it. So that's a very long story to tell a very short story. Anyway, I'm back on the Kemen. And today we're going off on an adventure. But as the famous explorer Ernest Shackleton once said, for an adventurer to know real adventure, an adventurer must know real danger. So we're not just going on a ride. What we're going to do is we're going to take this baby as fast as a Kemen will go. I hope to set the world record, the world speed record on an Orbea Kemen. I think I'll probably get it because I doubt if anyone's ever done it before. So because I had the Kemen all boxed up and ready to go, when I got it back out again, I thought, well, it'd just be a couple of quick rides. So I haven't changed the Cell Royal Vivo saddle. I wish I had. Let's just say it doesn't conform to the contours of my arse, and leave it at that. It's stunningly beautiful out here. Again, the northwesterly that was giving us the wind chill is on the other side of these mountains, so it's now very still, which is allowing the sun to do its thing. It just feels quite pleasant now. What a place to be. I've needed a ride like this after the last few weeks. Really needed a big adventure. I don't actually enjoy hills, they just seem to be everywhere that's pretty, so you just have to deal with them. Of course it's a bit easier on this thing, but it gets us to the point where on another ride I looked out across this stunning view, and right through the middle of it there was this tiny little winding gravel road, and I thought, I wonder where that goes. Well, today we're finding out. Cracking views. Let's see if I can show you when I'm around this hairpin. I can't tell, is that nice? Right, that should be the top of the first major climb. We're up at 350 metres, we started at nothing. It looks like there's two griffin vultures over on my left, but we're going to stop and have a look at the view in 2 seconds. But what we're going to be looking into is the heart of the area that got burnt so badly in 2019. And what I could see is there's a road. I'm going to be pointing in the wrong place. See a little house down there? Goes around that, and then there's another house goes around that, and in the distance it goes up and over another mountain. And if you look further and further away, it keeps going. There are no, as far as I know, there's no tarmac out here for many, many miles, I guess. Just trying to think, it's La Palma d'Ebre probably in about 20 kilometres time. And that's where we're going. There's absolutely nothing out there. There's a surprising number of tracks actually. But this would have been covered in trees before the fire. And now it's just scrub and looks like desert. But it would have been pine forest before. Terrible, isn't it? Concern is that I've been up roads like this before, and sometimes they're a dead end. Now that is an impressive rocky feature, a massive great slab of limestone, and the sandstone underneath has been washed out, so we've got quite a groovy overhang there. Isn't that lovely? Look at that. There are lots of these in this area, and underneath there's often quite large caves, and they are used sometimes by shepherds to so the fronts are walled up, and so they can actually put their livestock underneath in safety. And some are actually used by the church and actually make hermitages tucked right underneath. There's a whole load of those. In fact, if I had a mountain bike for a bit longer, I was going to do a whole series of hermitages. I've said it before, but this really is a heck of an adventure bike. Even the sort of genre, the idea of an SUV is quite a winner. You can stick your kid on the back of it, take him to school, or her to school, or do your shopping, and then you can whip the child seat off and go for a blast on trails in the middle of nowhere. It's absolutely perfect. Around here somewhere is actually a motocross circuit. How's that for timing? Just as I said that, I can hear motocross bikes. That was brilliant. I hope you could hear that. I just hope they're not on this road and that they're staying on the circuit. I was rather hoping we'd get some action on it today. There's jumps and all sorts. Oh wow! Good grief! The guy on the far side there was in the air for a long time. Well, much as I could watch that for longer, we've got a long way to go. It's a 63-kilometre off-road adventure today. It's a very beautiful road, this, and it's one that we've done a couple of times, always on the road bike, because it's the one we're near the bottom. I always hope to do 100 kilometres an hour. I think we're nearing the top. Now I usually try and do a little sprint into it, but I'm not going to be sprinting today. We'll just see how fast we can roll down this hill on a Kemen. 14%, it's about 2 kilometres long. It's not all 14, it's only one bit at the very bottom that's 14. But it's got a couple of bends in it, usually feel a bit terrifying. They're much improved. You can see the old road there. This is the new road. So they've straightened the bends out. Anyway, here we go. Now I'm going to have to wait to see how fast I went, but luckily, by the magic of the internet and video and whatnot, I'm just going to put it there. Ish. Well, I'm not sure I could have wrung a lot more out of that. Maybe a couple of kmh. I don't really think so. I was about as tucked as my pre-Christmas tum will allow me, but it felt pretty fast. So they're not necessarily huge slouches, these 2.5-inch wide tyre e-mountain bikes. They can go quite quick, so don't dismiss them out of hand as slow coaches. Anyway, I did want to get one proper ride vid in before Christmas. This is it, if you're wondering. There isn't a proper one coming, this is it. So I don't quite know how it's happened, but the battery's about to run out on the Kemen. Either I didn't charge it, or it's so cold that it's affected its range. I've heard it can be knocked down by about 20% on a cold day. But nah, I've got a whole, I don't know, I must have at least 20 kilometers left of really good off-roading into the mountains, which are just there. But instead, I'm going to have to bail and go back along the river. time to thank everyone about all their fantastically kind wishes for me and my family as a result of my dad's passing. Absolutely beautiful comments from some really, really special people. I'm very, very glad to know you, at least in the tiny part that I do. I suspect you know me a bit better. You'll have to start making videos and sending them to me. But really, really lovely. And I did want to actually express a little bit of extra praise for one person who's been particularly kind, and he was able to be kind because he lives very close to my mum and dad, and he was a close neighbour of theirs and close friend. So Steve, thanks mate. All those little things that you do and the journeys that you've taken us on, trips to the airport, toing and froing, it's really helped out. You're a good man. Anyway, on that happy note, because Steve is a good man, it makes me happy. On that happy note, it's time to say goodbye for this week. But if I don't see you before the new year, and I think I will, I've got 2 planned before then. Plans always go awry. But hopefully I'll be seeing you before then. But if not, have a great Christmas. And thanks for watching.